because I've had dealings with something,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't quite understand what.
Okay.
I was wondering if you could help me understand.
Sure. It says, what exactly can I help you with? I think I know where you might be going with this.
Yeah. A long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
I was beset with visions and voices,
Mm-hmm.
which led to me gaining the magical abilities I have now.
Yes.
These visions included a vast,
Mm-hmm.
bloody battle,
Uh-huh.
and I don't understand what it was, but it horrified me to my core.
Yes, this is like a...
Do you have any idea what that could have been?
So,
What?
the visions, it says, you describe the visions to him.
Yep.
It says the visions sound, you kind of like think for a moment, and he sounds like, It says the visions that you've kind of described to me sound a lot like the, excuse me, sounds like more out of the blood war that has been happening in... It's been happening in the Nine Hells for many years.
So my abilities might have something to do with this war.
Maybe they have something to do with it, or maybe the person who's giving you these abilities was part of the war that is still going. Whether
sort of going to say the phrase that I was given.
Yeah.
And see what he thinks of the "You have been granted my power, now survive, for I one day may have need of you."
Okay.
That's the last thing I heard.
Saying that, it says it sounds like someone is preparing you for something. Whether their intentions are for good or evil, it's just like you don't know, or whether they are preparing you for something in the future, or whether they are using you for their own gain. I wouldn't be able to know, but it sounds like someone is and it says for you to survive, for one day they will need you. Sounds like they need you for something. What it is, I don't know.
I'm then going to say, well, this was my latest gift, shall we say.
Okay.
And I'm going to draw the black sword.
Okay.
And place it on the table.
You draw your black sword and place it on the table. He looks at the sword and he looks at it and says, I've never seen a... He kind of looks and says, I've not seen a sword. Like, he kind of looks, it's not like this, but most people's swords are kind of tailored to suit them and their patron. This one...
I kind of pulled it out of the ether with the power I gained recently.
Yes, it says, you being yourself a warlock, obviously, you kind of like, obviously you know about your powers come from a patron and that sort of thing, and your powers are linked to your patron and stuff. And typically, when you reach in using their power and pull out the magic and the items like your pact weapon are tailored to fit you, but also slightly mirror your patron. So he kind of looks at it and he's like, I've never seen this before.
Okay. See,
this is the.
I'm sure you've gathered this, but the reason why I'm asking is I actually don't know what my patron is.
It says I myself don't know. And you see him looking at it, and he says, "May I?" And he asks if he can hold. Look at the point. I think, "May I?"
Yeah,
hold it. Yeah.
Please examine it.
Yep. He has a look at it, and upon doing so and having a look at it, he kind of looks at it and he goes, It says, "I am getting the sense of something from it." And you can see him thinking, says, and he kind of looks at you and looks at Sword. I'm getting the sense of something cold coming from it.
Something cold?
Yes. Something cold.
Okay.
And you can see him talking, and you can see him doing it. It says, whoever this is from took precautions or something to protect his identity. It says, I'm struggling to determine who this belongs to or the power itself. The power I'm getting more chaotic.
Okay.
Than something like one of the kind of good patrons. It says, I would be careful of your patron, my friend. It says, the fact that, from what you've described, that this power was kind of forced upon you. And
it wasn't. I was in a situation at the time. It basically it helped me out of a hopeless situation. I was in a cage.
So you accepted these powers as that you thought it would allow you to help you break free? He's like, you can see he's like trying to understand.
I was in a cage. There was a blade within my reach. I heard the voice. It said, grab the blade and accept my power and you'll be able to break yourself free.
Yep.
I did. Upon touching the blade that it specified, that's when I was beset with the visions and the knowledge of their tongue and of how to use a blade.
Yep.
And that's how I broke free. I was, at the time, the captive of a hag.
I understand. So, interesting.
That was 50 years ago.
50 years, he kind of looks at you and it's like, 50 years ago? You don't look an age over 30.
I am a being of the Fae.
This is, I assume that the fact that my little friend has not stopped talking about you since you spoke kind of gave me that inkling.
It had something to do with I'm a hexblood.
I understand. So
I was cursed by said hag. And then
interesting.
when my true nature came to light and my features sort of came in, my village turned on me and I ran.
Interesting.
In running, I was captured by the hag, who wished to perform some form of ritual on me, saying that I will be one of its kind. I was too flustered to pay too much attention, and that is when this patron came to me.
Very interesting. It seems that this curse may have had a side effect that the hag did not expect, which is why this patron chose you, in a sense, to survive, as he would need you.
The other reason why, I'm sort of, now that I've met someone who may have knowledge on the subject,
Yes.
asking about it now, and not sometime in the last 50 years of my wanderings, is because during those 50 years, I'd never heard my patron's voice again.
Have you heard your patron's voice recently, my friend?
Yes.
Interesting. It says it seems like maybe something is about to unfold in your future that the patron has decided now to re-establish contact with you.
Yeah, possibly. It's only made passing comments.
Yes.
But it threw me off guard. It's not.
Yes, I can imagine.
It wasn't expected.
I can imagine the fact that now he or she was a male or a female's voice, may I ask?
I believe it was a male's voice.
He may see that, in a sense, may have seen or may know information where your path may lead, and in turn has decided this is the best bet to re-establish contact with you.
It does seem to coincide with a few things that are happening.
Yes, and the fact that from what you've described in your visions when you first gained your powers, it may have something to do. It might be that something is maybe causing. What's what I'm looking for? Maybe causing your patron to become more active than he has been before.
I am going to say, obviously, based on our purchase in that yesterday, you're aware that me and my group are in the beginnings of our own adventure.
Yes, yes.
And I'm going to switch to Abyssal for this, so that any listeners can't understand.
So as of right now, Senric and Bridget cannot understand what you're saying.
Yep. And I'm going to say, we may be up against the powers that caused the disappearance of Elturel.
Upon hearing that, he kind of leans in and Abyssal back to you, and he says, well, my friend, this is, if you're dealing with the powers or whatever caused what happened to Elturel, maybe the powers that made Elturel or whatever happened to it disappear may or may not link in some way back to your patron, whether that be they come from the same place or your patron may or may not know what has happened to Elturel. He may have decided that that's why he's begun to re-establish contact with you.
Possibly. Still, the idea that all of this stuff is happening all at once has got me on edge.
I can understand that, but take it from a fellow adventurer that we had a warlock in our party. Take it from a fellow adventurer. He did your patrons can be a bit of that, like kind of like that parent that you may not hear from for a long time, and then out of the blue may want to re-establish talking with you. That sort of thing. So imagine that kind of like a parent that you had a falling out with many, many years later. Out of the blue, they're like, come to your door. That sort of thing. It says, but don't be alarmed the fact that your patron is talking to you again. Take it more of something good than other things. I would say it's more that your patron is talking to you because they believe they can assist you more than in the past. And the fact that you said that you've been wandering for many years, maybe your patron is waiting for the right moment to re-establish communications.
I understand.
But this is, I would say, don't be alarmed. This is the only time I would be alarmed is if your patron starts to influence you or ask you to do things that you wouldn't be comfortable with. Because your patron should know your limits and know what you would not like to do. Just if they started to influence you or kind of ask you to do stuff that you wouldn't normally do, then I would start being worried.
Okay.
As I do also remember, you can try to talk to your patron if you wanted.
How would one go about trying to establish contact with the patron? Because I've had such limited mind. I never knew how to initiate.
It is different for every person, and it is different for every patron. It says, but you would need to have a think of the best way that you could think to contact him. Whether that be you enter a trance state and attempt to talk to them, or you can attempt to. So there's many ways. You can. It says, I do know some ways that you can. As I said, it's up to, in a sense, it's every person's different. I have the person that we were with, the warlock, used to do a ritual that would allow them to communicate with his patron.
I do have a possible idea.
Oh, what would you say your idea? What would that be?
Well, the first time it ever made contact, and when it brought its power and visions and whatnot upon me, it was because I grabbed the blade.
The blade that's sitting on the table?
No, at the time it was basically like, it was almost like a test, like grab the weapon and prove yourself sort of thing. However, that was the initiation.
Then maybe, my friend, that
if I meditated over that sword,
potentially, yes. Possibly, yes. You may be able to talk to him. Whether it's successful or not, it's something that I wouldn't know. As I said, it's something that each person would have to discover on their own. Most patrons would tell you how to talk to them. Your one, on the other hand,
is quiet.
Yes, which may mean that it's not a normal patron or a normal god or demigod that people use.
I'm going to make an attempt.
Right now.
I'm going to take the blade off of the table.
Yep.
I'm going to cross my legs.
Yep.
Place the blade on my lap, putting my palms onto the blade.
Yep.
I'm going to close my eyes and go into try and enter a similar trance state as I do when I say, like, see through my token and that, right?
Yep.
And I'm going to ask if my patron is there.
Roll a D100. Roll a D100.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Roll me a D100. 93. Okay.
This is getting serious.
Okay. 93. You attempt to make communications with your patron.
I don't know if I was meant to roll high or low on that.
Oh, this is up to me. This is up to me, right? So you kind of take the sword and you kind of like rest it on your do you rest it in front of you or do you rest it like on your legs?
So I'm on my legs. So I was like, I sort of go into a cross-legged thing and put my hands upon it.
Okay. You enter this state of like a kind of like a trance, and you attempt to reach out to your patron. You start, in a sense, you don't feel or hear or see anything. You then hear a voice. Goes, you have finally decided to communicate. You have finally decided to reach out to me. I have been waiting for this day.
That I could.
Yes. And right now, we're going to jump to you, Elnonio, because what you've just done is now just put something in my head. That, okay, we're now going to jump to you, Elnonio. So you have entered trance state, and your patron, you have now made communication. Elnonio.
And I have this wizard just watching me like, oh shit.
Elnonio.
Smash cut to old woman.
Smash cut. So I can't imagine this in a TV show. You make communication because yes, finally you have decided. Oh shit! Cut to old woman. Okay, so Elnonio, you kind of stake out kind of have a walk around the area, keep an eye in the Elfsong Tavern. Not the Elfsong Tavern, sorry, the Low Lantern. I need you to give me. So we'll say this would require me to know what you are wanting to see or what you're looking at.
I'll be back real quick.
I know.
Just anyone resembling Emmerich or like, say for example, someone accompanied by guards, for example, like a hard guard detail, or not like as in like they got thugs around them basically trying to protect.
So you have a look. You walk around the kind of harbor. You don't get too close to the ship.
Yeah.
But you have a wander around. Kind of make yourself look like an elder old woman's business, going about business. Can you give me a quick performance check to see just how well you pull this off? Please.
Oh fuck.
16.
All right. You go about. No one pays much attention to yourself as you wander through parts of the docks, the harbour in the city. Every so often you do like kind of stop and kind of make sure you're looking at the Low Lantern to see who come and goes. Can you give me a quick perception? 11. You do notice people coming and going from there, and you do notice that you see one person enter the Low Lantern very smartly, kind of dressed in all black with longish black hair, and is accompanied by a very tough gentleman. And you can see the gentleman's kind of looking around, keeping a watch, and you see them both enter the Low Lantern. Okay, so we have a description, and we have a detail. That's all I needed. That's all I wanted. Oh, I'm gonna go back home.
Yep, and it kind of happens over like a wee bit of time and stuff, but that's kind of happens.
Yeah.
When Knuckles returns, we'll jump back to him. Cedric, is there anything that you want to do while we're waiting on Knuckles to return? You have just seen Craven kind of sit on the floor and enter a trance.
And we're in the shop, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Something quick. Gotta check. All right, my inventory. I've got what? 18 gold.
roughly.
There ain't. I don't think. Yeah, 18
Hmm?
or 19 technically overall.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but he sells expensive shit though.
it is all expensive shit, but you don't need to buy anything. You can ask the mage
You know,
anything.
you're right. I don't need to buy anything. All right. What is the guy doing?
He is currently sitting at a table with you and is watching Craven perform his kind of trance. Welcome back, Knuckles. Just while you were waiting on you.
By the way, I just registered something.
No.
Oh, hang on, we'll come back. We'll wait. What?
I was going to say, that's the first time Bridget and Cendric have actually, one, heard about me hearing voices,
Yep.
and two, heard most of my backstory.
Yep.
Ah.
So,
They're just learning about all this now.
Yeah.
They're like, what the shit?
so then what is it you're doing right now whilst Craven is in this trance?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna look around for anything that was easily grabbable, but not like, behind the guy, not in front of him.
Yep. So give me a perception check first.
Perception.
6. From having a look around, there is stuff that you could attempt to swipe or left, but whether you don't know who can see you is the issue.
Okay. What if you had to say what is swipeable? What looks swipeable?
From where you are, arrows, a couple of arrows look swipeable. Not the high end ones. We're talking the lower ones.
Okay. But
But
I don't know if that would fall under performance if I try to act like I'm just perusing. Like grabbing, picking stuff up, having a look,
yeah,
and then
so
putting it back
in a
down.
sense, you would
you
be
know.
picking it up, and then in order to try and pocket it, if that makes sense, you would need to perform a
Yeah.
sleight of hand check to see if you can do it
Yeah.
without anyone seeing.
Oh yeah,
Depending-
but I'm saying I'm trying to lead up to it with a performance by making it look very unsuspicious.
Yeah, so if you
that
want,
makes sense.
yeah, so it'd be like you're in a sense making it not look like you're doing something. So you need to give me a performance check to see how well you would pull that off. Depending 7. You kind of go up to the arrows and are like, you kind of over exaggerate what you're doing. You then hear in your left ear and it says something say, I would put that back if I were you. It says, you're not fooling anyone what you're trying to do here.
All right, so I'm a little startled, of course, because the last time we were here, I didn't know about the whole.
You didn't, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a little startled. I put it back down.
Yep.
And I try to nonchalantly walk back over to sit down.
Yep. You make your way back over. And
that was my little fey friend, wasn't it?
yeah, and you get that impression that there's something watching you, and you can't see
Well,
where.
that's all I need to know. As
You
a thief, I'm
can't,
just like, all right, I'm not robbing this place.
You can't. You can in a sense you can feel someone watching you, but you don't know where. Right. So we'll jump back to you, Craven. You have entered this trance and you have finally made contact with your patron. You hear him say, finally. It said, finally you have made contact. This is this is something that I wasn't expecting from you for some time. It says, I was reluctant to speak with you, but I believe the time is right
for us to re-establish communications and for me to assist you on your journey through this world.
It has been 50 years.
That it has, but you have to understand that there has been stuff that I have had to deal with, and there's been stuff that I believe that you had to deal with as well. It says it's been 50 years, but during those 50 years, you learned much in your journey. It says I didn't believe at the time that you were ready for your full power. I see now, upon watching your and dealing with these despicable god worshipping cultists, I believe that it was the right time for me to assist.
Fair enough.
So, my child, is there anything I can help you with? This is normally when people make these kind of connections to their patrons, it's normally to chat about something or to ask for something. So,
Well, I've had so many questions for you over the years.
and I will answer them in due time. It says you have to understand there's only so much I can tell you now.
Fair enough. Well, I will say, I have a very, very dangerous mission ahead of me.
Yes, I have been keeping a watch. From what I have seen and what I have seen, it sounds like something that something that I believe that you're ready for.
Okay. Do you know anything I don't in regards to what may?
In what way?
Just do you have any information that may help me in the next day or two of this dangerous mission?
Regarding to your mission, no. Danger-wise is nothing that you shouldn't be able to handle. But I will pretend to give you this warning. If you do fail in your mission, Baldur's Gate, where you currently armed, is doomed. The people
suspicions
that are the people that you are going after are close to repeating what happened in Elturel. I would suggest that you and your party don't waste the time that you have. I would suggest that you deal with the matter as quickly as possible. And
the goal is to have this dealt with by tonight, by the end of the night.
Says that would be excellent if you could, but I will give you this advice. I need to double check something. Apologies, this is something that's quite a bit ahead, but I need to find it where it was it said this so I get this right. What the fuck is that? What is it? He says,
What do you figured out the song I'm gonna sing?
oh my god. Hold. Sorry, this thing's called something fucking stupid, and if I don't get it right, it just kind of fucks the rest of the thing up.
Then.
Oh, damn it.
Huh?
He says, you beware of what you may see and what you may hear from people. It says, I get the sense that there is something in Baldur's Gate that may be trying to escape from its captivity. What it is, I cannot think. But I believe that whatever it is may be helping these people.
So you think there's something not of this world captive here that's helping move things along so that it can escape?
I believe that there is something here in Baldur's Gate that is corrupting the people.
So there's something pulling the strings.
I wouldn't say pulling the strings. I would say more influencing them.
I'll have to keep my eyes out. I do have one other question for you.
Yes, since that will be the last question I'll be able to assist you with.
You've already sort of told me what to be wary of,
Mm-hmm.
and for that I thank you. I do have one question.
Yes.
A question that's been burning in my mind for the last 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Why me?
Why you?
Why was I your chosen?
I chose you. Out of all of the creatures in the mortal realm, I decided out of them all to pick you because you had the will and the determination to survive, no matter the cost. When that hag held you captive, I gave you a test to take the blade and, in a sense, kill it. Many others I gave that test to failed and did not deal with their situations. Many of them thought that what I was just a voice in their head that told them to do something, and many of them did not. Out of them all that I did test, you were the only one that had the will and the power to take matters into your own hands and survive no matter what. The reason I chose you out of all of them was because you were the one that listened and the one that did not want to give up.
I understand.
I also believe that because of this, you have great potential compared to the rest. It says there are others out there that also passed, but out of them all, I believe that you have the greatest potential to survive, the greatest potential to be ready for what I need of you in the future. When that day comes, I believe that you would be the one to not hesitate to do what it takes to assist me. I also believe that you would be the only one that, without hesitation, and be the one that are most likely to survive the trials and survive the torment that you're about to go through. It says, I will warn you of this. The path that you are on will take you to places that you will not be ready for. You will suffer, and you will suffer greatly. But I believe that you will overcome them and become stronger and be ready for what I need of you.
Well, I hope you're right and that I can overcome whatever challenges come my way.
I says I have the utmost faith that you will. Oh, and one more thing. Stick with the people you're with. They are useful to you.
They have been so far.
Says they have been. But I believe that together you have a more likelier chance of survival than being on your own. I did watch you over those 50 years of wandering. And since becoming part of the party and seeing what you did with that person that used it, I believe that this in turn has made you all stronger. It says murder's a great way for you to strengthen your bonds, shall I say. And I believe that this is driving the need for you to survive. You are seeing the need that some people in this world are pure evil. And the fact that you have decided to take matters into your own hand where people have not is something that many don't. And I applaud you for that. So I would say stay with them. Learn from them.
Since you have been watching,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what we have planned and what we're going up against, prepare for a show.
I will be watching. And don't be afraid to reach out if you require assistance. I will do what I can to help you whenever I am able to, but do be aware that I have many other people that require my attention.
Only in the direst of circumstances
Yes.
will I fall back on that. I don't think I'd need to otherwise.
Since I would, but as I say, feel free to talk. I will also pop in from time to time, so do not be alarmed if you hear me. And may the next time we meet, I will tell you more of who I am and what I am.
Looking forward.
But until that day, stay on guard and above most, survive.
The one thing I'm good at.
That you are. And you now feel yourself getting drawn back into your, kind of like drawn back into your body, and you awaken from your trance.
I lift my hands off of the blade. Circle my left hand back under the handle.
Yep.
Don't think I've ever mentioned it. My character's left-handed, like I am. Just
Mm-hmm.
and sheath the sword,
Mm-hmm.
and then sort of put my hand, like clasp my hands to sort of together and sort of place them on the table.
Yep.
And sort of just be like, so, what happened on your end? Because I don't know if you could hear any of that.
The mage kind of looks at it and says, "You've only been there, sitting there for a few moments.
I see.
Nothing happens. Did you manage to make contact?"
I did.
Excellent. Excellent. This says, "I'm hoping it went well."
It seemed pleased that I contacted it.
That is good.
Warned me of the dangers to come.
Uh-huh.
Told me I was its chosen because of my will to live and my determination to survive.
Interesting.
And that over time it will reveal more of itself to me.
Interesting. It says, "Well, I'm pleased that," he's going to see the mage, he's going to say, "I'm pleased that you made contact with him. And the fact that it went good, it's a good sign. But the fact that he didn't reveal himself has me a little worried. Be wary."
I will be, but it seems that yeah, he sort of said he'll reveal like more of himself in time.
Yes. It says, "Well, I would say be on guard when you make contact or he make contact."
He said the same.
Yeah, did he? Says he's must be wise. As that is all, I will get back to my business, if that is okay.
Yeah, you can go back to your business.
Perfect. And he kind of gets back. And I'm guessing you now make your way back to keep.
Right before I leave.
Yep.
I am going to sort of look around and just sort of go, okay, where are you, little guy?
You hear a voice coming from your ear and says, "I'm right here." And you turn to look and you can see it on your shoulder.
How are you?
Doing good. See your wee friend there.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on him because he tried to do some stealies. It looks at it and says, so.
Yeah, a real kleptomaniac, that one.
Yeah, it says keep him on a tight leash because I would hate to have to do something.
I think I'm assuming you made your presence known.
Gave him a little nudge.
I have a feeling he'll know better next time.
That's good. So anyhow, it says I need to get back to work, so I'll see you around.
Yep. And I leave.
Yep. So you can make your way back to keep. Yeah.
Yep.
I say by the time you've kind of like done all your surveillance and stuff, had this chat, gone to this Solar Sunday shop, that sort of thing, it's starting to hit night, coming into the late afternoon / early nightfall.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we doing this session or
No,
next session?
Next session. So my sense, what's going to happen now
Okay.
is you make your way to the keep. The guards let you straight in, and the captain is waiting for you in the kind of like courtyardy bit. Kind of looks at you and says, "Follow me," and you just make your way through the keep to the outside of it, kind of where the island is, and there is a small pathway that kind of goes down, and there is a boat waiting for you.
Okay.
And that's where we'll call the session. We'll call the session there. This is a perfect time to stop before you make your way to the lower lantern. Yes.
I am going to try and do one thing.
What?
And that is... So we've gone down a pathway to the backside of the keep, right? So we're like around here somewhere.
Yes, roughly.
Can I... If I squint real hard...
Mm-hmm.
Do I have eyes on the low lantern?
Do you mean like, can you see it?
Yeah, like, can I see the building? Like,
yeah, well, you can make it out, yes, roughly, but it is fairly far.
And I can probably see, like, the lanterns, like, the glow of the lanterns on the outside.
You can barely make it out. Best way to describe it, memory serves me right, each of these squares is a couple 100 feet. So you're talking, it's a fair distance away, but you can see the glow from it, yeah.
I'm
trying to work out and be like, you'll be talking, oh fuck, about 3/4 of a mile, half a mile, give or take. You can see it.
About half a mile.
You can see it, barely. As
just sort of getting eyes on target and seeing that the lanterns are lit.
Yeah,
it's open. Like
cool. Yeah. So
target sighted. Let's go. Sort of thing.
And the best way to describe it, taverns in D&D are typically open 24/7. Because obviously they do have people staying there, so they are open 24/7. They do close fairly late at night for people that are drinking, but they are open for people that are staying. So it is typically open 24/7.
Okay.
So that is where we shall call the session for tonight.
And we're gonna do a whole big old kidnap heist.
Yep. So next session is the kidnap heist, the kidnapping.
Although remember, I won't be here next week.
That's fine.
I don't know about the following week. I need to talk to them about that.
That's totally fine. As I said, if need be, your character would be there, but wouldn't do anything major, like the way Bridget is. They were there for key bits and pieces, but doesn't do much else.
Yeah.
So that sort of thing. So and stuff. But obviously, like that, it's right now it's fine. But obviously, I know what bits you need to all be there and stuff. So this bit's fine, but I think you need to all be there for the villa.
Okay.
Stuff. So that's the one that you need to all be there for.
That makes sense.
Because it's kind of a key point. This is a key point, but it's not like a major key point. This is one you can do. But anyhow, thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you, players. It's very appreciated for playing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We will be back next week. Fingers crossed. With more. Hopefully, it says last 2 weeks is obvious. Last couple of weeks have just been complete havoc. It's been hell. Like literally, it's just been so much is going on and stuff. So fingers crossed we have a full. Well, we won't have a full party, but fingers crossed we're back next week with some more D&D. Hopefully, and that's hopefully we shall see how the party succeed in their kidnapping. It's going to be fucking fun.
Gets beat up by the person being kidnapped.
I think we have a good plan for it at least.
I'll let you know. You said thought about this and you planned out as how well you execute this plan. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be brilliant. This is going to be fucking good. But anyway, thank you all for watching. We'll be back next week with some more descent into Avernus.